Everybody, welcome to our Tuesday board meeting. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Noah?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do roll call, I would also ask you to please remain standing and join us in a moment of silence for a Smithtown resident, Mr. Michael McDermott, who was tragically killed by a hit-and-run driver on Sunday. So our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Thank you very much. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareham.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Noack.
here.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Here.
Councilman Lohman.
Here. Okay, we'll start sitting as the Board of Water Commissioners. Madam Clerk.
The minutes approval for the Board of Water meeting dated June 11. And the Board of Water Commissioners to authorize the following. Number one is a transfer.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes. Reconvene as Town Board for the agenda.
Under correspondence, number one, Kings Park High School Homecoming Parade, third reading. 2, Smithtown High School East Homecoming Parade, third reading. 3, Comac Kings Park Rotary Club Family Fun Run, second reading. 4, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation 5K fundraiser, second reading. 5, Comac High School Homecoming Parade, first reading. Number 6, Barella's Farm Stand Fall Festival, third reading. Number 7, Public House LLC and Emily Power Foundation Music Concert, second reading. And number 8, the building report for June 2019.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience who wish to be heard on any of these special events? No, we will move on. Public hearings.
The first public hearing is the town board to conduct a public hearing pursuant to New York State eminent domain procedure law concerning the town's acquisition of certain vacant real property located at 584 Middle Country Road in St. James for public roadway purposes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Martin Simon, one of the Assistant Town Attorneys for the Town of Smithtown. The purpose of today's first public hearing is to hold a hearing concerning the town's proposed condemnation acquisition of a portion of the property at 584 Middle Country Road. Many of you would know this property as the southern end of where the old Kentucky Fried Chicken building was next to Smithtown Audi. The town has commissioned an appraisal of the subject piece of the property the town would like to acquire, and that appraisal valued that piece at $106,000. Today's public hearing is required by law, and subsequent to today, we will prepare a summary of today's findings, and we will then publish within 90 days after today that summary in the local papers. For more information concerning the actual purpose of this acquisition, the planning director, Peter Hans, has come to explain that in detail.
Thank you, Counsel.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Peter Hans, Planning Director. On the screen, we have a conceptual plan that we did probably 5-6 years ago. Several of the sites in the area have developed since. For instance, this property now is the rear of Smithtown Audi and has been developed for additional car storage. Currently, if you know the sports arena site, which is this large building down here, the only ingress and egress out of the property is this long, narrow street, private road called Broadley Avenue. It backs up considerably at the ends of games, and people are making dangerous left-hand turns out of the property trying to go west on Middle Country Road. What this would do, we already have this road constructed by Cider Lumber extending from Southern Boulevard to this property line. Mr. Damianos, who is present in the audience, he owns this piece of the property. He is willing to construct the roadway. However, we've got this little piece in the middle, which is what we're trying to acquire. If the town acquires this property, which we did put into our capital program several years ago, Mr. Damianos has agreed that he will construct the roadway extending from here to Broadley. What this will allow customers of the sports arena to do is exit the site more safely. They could go out this property to Southern Boulevard, and then they'll have access to the traffic signal at Middle Country Road in Southern, as well as 347 in Southern down here. Additionally, there's vacant land back there, so there is economic development potential as well, specifically this piece of property, as well as this property, which currently has no access because it's part of the KFC lot, which is more or less a bowling alley. They have no frontage to Middle Country Road. Construction of this road will therefore, let me go to this. It'll essentially create two buildable lots here that are WSI zone. They're not significantly large, but they're large enough to accommodate development. This is the approved site plan for the Kentucky Fried Chicken back from 2005. It's currently vacant. We're in conversation with a couple potential users of the property. This is a drone photo looking north from the sports arena. This shows the magnitude of this property and how large it is. It's this wooded lot. You can see that Audi is developed in this photograph. Here's the road that's constructed coming off of Southern Boulevard. This is roughly what we're looking to acquire, and this is what Mr. Damianos owns. And then this down here is showing what has a preliminary approval for an expansion of the sports arena. That went to the town board last year. This is looking south, showing the KFC site. Again, you can see the length of this property. This is the basically the specific plan showing the approximately 7,500 square feet of property that we're looking to acquire. That basically concludes my presentation, unless the board has any questions.
Anyone from the board?
Thank you.
Anyone wish to be heard on this subject from the audience? No?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll move to close the hearing.
Second. Supervisor Wareman?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
The second public hearing, the town board to consider a proposed amendment to chapter 245 of the town code entitled Streets and Sidewalks.
Good afternoon, Supervisor and members of the town board. This is the second item on your town board hearing agenda, and it's chapter 245, Streets and Sidewalks, and there's an article in there about excavations. The purpose of the hearing is to consider adoption of a local law amending 245 of the code, and the amendment would be to place restrictions on the issuance of road opening permits for a period of time after a road has been either resurfaced, newly constructed, or reconstructed. Specifically for resurfaced roads, no permits would be issued for at least 3 years, and for newly constructed or reconstructed roads, the applicable time period would be 5 years. This does not apply to applications to install new gas connections to residential properties, however. Exceptions are also made in the case of emergencies. So there's new language in this proposal for emergencies which occur. The amendment provides that the superintendent of highways would be notified immediately if there's an emergency, and upon the superintendent's approval, the owner is to immediately remedy the trouble to make it safe, but may not begin to make permanent repairs until the permit is secured. A permit for an emergency repair would have to be applied for within 48 hours of the occurrence, and the repairs must be completed as soon as practicable after the issuance of the permit. That's the extent of the changes, if you have any questions.
Any questions by the board?
No.
Would anyone wish to be heard in the audience relative to this public hearing? No? Thank you, Counselor. Move to close the hearing?
Second.
Supervisor Wareman?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to adopt item number 2 of the public hearing we just heard.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay,
Supervisor Wareman,
yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilman Lomond.
Yes.
Thank you.
The third public hearing is the town board to consider the town's entry onto real property located at 24 Lindner Place in Smithtown for the purpose of removing, remediating the vast accumulation of rubbish, debris, unregistered vehicles, tall grass, weeds, and overgrown vegetation, as well as a deteriorating structure at the premises, all in violation of Town Code Chapter 221.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Martin Simon, Assistant Town Attorney, Town of Smithtown. The purpose of today's public hearing number 3 is for the Town Board to determine whether or not to enter upon the property at 24 Lindner Place, Smithtown, New York, for the purposes of cleaning up the violations of our Property Maintenance Code, Chapter 221 at the site. What we have today on the big screen are 6 photos of the site taken yesterday by our Public Safety Division, department. As you can see, there were great amounts of rubbish, debris, garbage, landscape materials. This is a pretty large site. I believe it's over an acre. And the issue with this site, just so you know, is the original owner, Mary Hickey, had passed away a couple of years ago. She had 6 children, and when she died, the children began to start the probate process, but no one got anywhere. To this day, no one's been named executor or administrator of the estate yet, but we've prevailed upon Terrence Hickey, one of the sons, to clean the place up the best he can, and I'm informed by our Public Safety Department that as of yesterday afternoon, the site was about in 90% compliance. We've had this matter in district court. The issue was there is no owner of the property technically. So it would be our office's recommendation that while we hold the public hearing today, we hold off on the resolution to actually enter the property and give this property owner 30 more days. And if they don't, we can put it on for the August meeting to enter on the site. That concludes my presentation.
Very good.
Any questions by the board?
Does anybody wish to be heard on this public hearing? We'll move on.
Move to close.
Yep,
Second.
Supervisor Wareman,
yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noah,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilman Lomond.
Yes.
The fourth hearing is to consider the town's entry onto certain real property located at 381 Birch Road in Kings Park for the purpose of removing the extraordinarily vast accumulation of rubbish, debris, unregistered vehicles, tall grass, weeds, and overgrown vegetation, all in violation of the Town Code, Chapter 221.
Okay, again, Mr. Supervisor, members of the Town Board, Martin Simon, Assistant Town Attorney, yet again. The purpose of this public hearing is for the town to consider entering upon the property at 381 Birch Road, Kings Park, New York, for the purpose of cleaning up the property maintenance violations at the site. This site is close to Riviera Drive in Kings Park. The owner is an LLC situated in Seaford. The property was transferred to this LLC about 2 years ago, and from what public safety can determine, and from what these pictures show, they're using the site to essentially just store junk. When you pull up to the site in the street, it's shrouded in trees, but you can see the junk through the part that was once the driveway. There's about 7 unregistered junk vehicles there, garbage everywhere. The building department director had told me that they really can't even make a determination as to the structure itself until we get all the junk out of the way. We have proof that Punch in a Dream LLC, that's the property owner, we have proof that they were served with notice of this hearing. We got our certified mail return receipts back. No, it doesn't look like anybody's come. I've not heard from anyone from the LLC. So based on the dire condition of this property, it would be the town attorney's office recommendation that we adopt this resolution today to enter onto the property and clean it up.
Okay, any questions by the board?
Have they been paying their taxes, property taxes on this?
Yes, they have.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this public hearing? Okay, I'll move to close.
Second.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, I move to adopt item number 4 of the public hearing for today.
We have a second?
Second.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Next, advertise for public hearing. Number 1, the town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall, 99 West Main Street in Smithtown on Tuesday, August 13th at 2 p.m. to consider a proposed amendment to Chapter 9 of the Town Code entitled Appearance Tickets. 2, the town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at Town Hall on Tuesday, August 13th at 2 p.m. to consider a proposed town code amendment to add Chapter 206 of the Town Code entitled Massage Establishments. 3, authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held at the Town Hall on Tuesday, August 13th at 2 p.m. to consider accepting the draft local waterfront revitalization program update for submission to the New York State Department of State. And 4, the town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held on August 13th at 2 p.m. at Town Hall to consider the town's entry onto certain real property located at 703 Middle Country Road, St. James, reputedly owned by Competition Carding Corp. For the purpose of remediating and/or removing the structure thereat which has been designated as unsafe in accordance with Chapter 112, as per recommendations of the Director of Public, the Building Department, and the Town Attorney.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
We have consent agenda controller, numbers 1 through 22, and consent agenda resolutions, numbers 1 through 5.
Okay, is there anyone on the town board that wishes to have anything removed from the consent agenda?
No.
Okay.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Under resolutions, the town board, after due study and deliberation of the subject record, to issue a secret negative declaration determination of non-significance in the following matters for reasons stated in a memorandum on the dates indicated. 1, site plan approval by Larry Ventimiglia for Ventimiglia Funeral Home on the north side of Smithtown Boulevard, west of Spectacle Lake Drive in Ronkonkoma, for the reasons as stated in a memorandum dated July 10th.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned to town hall on the dates indicated. 1, bid 19-73, drainage improvements at Gedney Avenue outfall in Smithtown.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to award the following bids and to authorize the purchase of associated goods or services. 1, RFP 19-59 for hearing reporting services to RJ Riccobono. 2, bid 19-47 for 6-wheel trucks with various options to Long Island Freightliner.
Councilman Loman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to approve the following. 1, adoption of amendment to Chapter 322 of the Town Code entitled zoning. 2, intermunicipal agreement with the Kings Park School District regarding use of the town's non-residential solid waste disposal capacity generation fee system for a period from September 1st, 2019 through August 31st, 2020. 3, agreement between the town of Smithtown and the Smithtown Administrative Guild for the temporary employment of a part-time assistant director of public safety. 4, appointment of Carmen Kianos to the Smithtown Anti-Bias Task Force. 5, ratification of agreement with Kane Exterminating Corp. For professional services for town-owned properties. Number 6 through 9 are extensions of the intermunicipal agreement with various towns for the removal and processing of curbside recyclable material for an additional 2 months. 10, the Department of Environment and Waterways to prepare and the supervisor to sign and submit a letter of intent and application to the New York State Environmental Facilities Corp. To obtain partial grant funding for costs associated with the operation and maintenance of 3 existing vessel pump-out facilities. 11, authorize the town board to accept a grant awarded from New York State Zombie and Vacant Properties Remediation and Prevention Initiative in the amount of $200,000. 12, agreement between Highway Superintendent and Village of Nissaquag regarding the removal of snow and ice for a term of 1 year from October 1st, 19 through September 30th, 20. 13, Fire Marshal Matthew Rea to attend New York State Hazardous Materials Technician Training at the New York State Academy of Fire Service. 14, ratify the supervisor's signature on a special event permit New York State Liquor Authority landlord authorization form on behalf of Katie Donegan, Incorporated, the concession provided at the Long Beach Pavilion. 15, amendment to the 2019 Highway Road Program to add Summers Lane in Comac. 16, extension of agreement with Henrich Equipment Incorporated for an additional 1-year term for professional monitoring services for fuel storage tanks at Smithtown and Kings Park Highway Yards. 17, extension of bid 17-46 for plow blades with F&M Equipment and Fork Manufacturing Company. 18, appointment of Patricia Clark, Arlene Goldstein, Peter Hans, Councilman Thomas Lohman, Michael Mobillo, Eric Neitzel, and Natalie Weinstein to the Historic St. James Cultural and Art District Board. Number 19, MSF to lease 2 copiers from Toshiba Business Solutions. 20, Assessor's Office to lease a copier from Toshiba Business Solutions. And just a short little water break. And 21, the Parks Department to purchase 2 towable light towers with generators from United Rentals. 22, addition of FPM Engineering and Geology PC, LK McLean Associates PC, and Timmons Group to the town's pre-qualified list of professional service consultants. 23, sale of surplus Sea-Doo Wave Runner to Scott Smith. 24, the rental of a grader for the Highway Department from Edward Amar. 25, the Highway Department to purchase a 6-column mobile truck lift system from Steroconi USA. 26, change order number 2 to the agreement for lighting at Andreoli Gibbs Pond Park with Gray Bar Electric Company. 27, extension of bid 1865-65 for refuse removal from private properties. 28, the Highway Department to purchase a 6-wheel truck with plow and flow dump body from Long Island Freightliner. 29, MSF to place a loader trailer, and miscellaneous equipment up for auction. 30, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Bureau of Wildlife to have access to town property located at Bill Richards Park for the purpose of banding mallards during the months of July, August, and September. Number 31, clear the shelter day to waive adoption fees at the animal shelter on Saturday, August 17.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes to all, and I'm going to recuse myself from 18.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Novick?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Weber?
Yes.
The town board to authorize the acceptance of the following. Donation for the senior center from Carl and Diane Lehman in the amount of $100. 2, donation to the town of Smithtown from the William J. Pomeroy Foundation in the amount of $1,100 for a historic roadside marker for Richard Smith.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Novick?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Weber?
Yes.
The town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following on a form approved by the town attorney. 1, lease agreement with Jeffrey P. Gumman for rental of the Hoyt Farmhouse. 2, agreement with the Timmons Group for enterprise GIS support and maintenance. 3, extension of agreements for 1 year for use of Edward Mankuski Fire Training Center. 4, agreement with Alan Schneider to provide professional consulting services relating to personnel and civil service matters. 5, agreement to extend the services of Nelson and Pope as design consultants for the emergency vehicle preemption of traffic signals. Number 6, consulting services agreement with Miguel Calamano, MD, for services as the medical director for Horizons Counseling and Education Center. 7, agreement with Pamela Kasunhun, nurse practitioner, to provide services to the Horizons Counseling and Education Center. 8, agreement with the Hop Hog Animal Hospital for veterinary services for the Smithtown Animal Shelter. 9, specialized services agreement with Learn to Swim Fast and the Recreation Department. 10, agreement for payment in lieu of taxes for solar energy systems between the town, and AES Distributed Energy.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Novick?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Weber?
Yes.
The town board to approve settlement in the following matters per recommendation of the town attorney. 1, Fallica versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $66. 2, DiVietro versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $271.62. 3, Richard Quinn versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $37,500. 4, Anthony Scott versus the town of Smithtown in the amount of $162.94.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Novick?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Weber?
Yes.
Under personnel, the town board to approve the following personnel matters. Number 1 is a salary and title change. Number 2, full-time provisional appointment of Lee Wixon to the position of animal shelter supervisor in the animal shelter. Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
At a rate of pay of $85,000 per year effective August 5th, 2019, subject to receipt of satisfactory results of a pre-employment medical exam/drug screening. Number 3 is a part-time appointment. Number 4 is a part-time appointment. Number 5 is a salary change. 6, unpaid medical leave. 7, title and salary change. 8 is a seasonal appointment. 9 is a seasonal appointment. 10, 11, and 12 are seasonal appointments. 13 is accepting volunteer services. 13, 14, and 15, accepting of volunteer services.
Councilman Loman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nuzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Warehouse.
Yes.
Town Board to authorize the following amendments to the Uniform Traffic Code and authorize the Traffic Safety Department to install and maintain the necessary signs. One is adding a no parking on Jackson Avenue South. Number 2 is a stop and yield, adding a stop sign to Hurton Boulevard at Aaron Street. And number 3 is adding a stop sign on Midwood Avenue and Marion Street.
Councilman Loman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nuzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Warehouse.
Yes.
And I have 2 readings.
Do we know?
The first one, well, accept the volunteer services. Do you want me to read these?
Yeah.
Accept the volunteer services of John Danielson as an unpaid student intern in the office of the town attorney, effective July 22nd, 2019 to August 31st, 2019.
Councilman Loman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nuzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Warehouse.
Yes.
Accept the volunteer services of Alexa McLaughlin as a student intern in the Horizons Department, effective August 5th, 2019.
Councilman Loman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nuzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Warehouse.
Yes. That concludes town board agenda. We have one site plan.
First thing is the minutes approval for the site plan review of June 11, 2019. And then the site plan review resolution, number 1 is conditionally approved site plan for Ventimiglia Funeral Home for a proposed 2-story building located north side of Smithtown Boulevard, west of Spectacle Lake Drive, Ronkonkoma.
Councilman Loman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Nuzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Warehouse.
Yes. That concludes all the resolutions. Very nice job, Madam Clerk. It's a long agenda.
I need oxygen on the side.
Okay, we will move to the public portion of the board meeting. Public participation is subject to the rules of decorum. You will have that on your speaker card. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced on a per-person basis. Please give us your name and address to the clerk, and please address the town board.
Frank Scabluso.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor and councilmen and councilwomen. I just want to read into the record a letter I had sent to the town board last week. There's a copy of it, if I may present it. Frank Scaliuso, 191 Terry Road, Smithtown, New York, 11787. I'm speaking on behalf of the Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce this afternoon regarding the proposal for the hotel at the Watermill property. So I'll read into the record. We are writing to set forth the position of the Wisconsin Chamber of Commerce, Inc. with respect to the hotel proposed to be constructed at the Watermill Caterers located on Wisconsin Highway. We are also writing in response to the article in the Smithtown News on July 5th, 2019, discussing the position of We Are Wisconsin. We Are Wisconsin is in opposition to the proposed hotel, as well as advocating for a building moratorium in Wisconsin. We Are Wisconsin is a self-formed group that can speak only for its members and not on behalf of the hamlet of Wisconsin. It is not deputized or authorized to speak for the residents or the businesses of Wisconsin. It can advocate only for the position of its organization itself and should be considered as such. Hence, its opposition to the hotel project and development within the town of Nesconset is limited to the position of that organization. As the Nesconset Chamber of Commerce, Inc., we wish to advise the board that no moratorium on development of property and businesses within the hamlet of Nesconset should be put in place. As operators of local businesses within Nesconset, we do not acknowledge any rush by developers to develop property and suggest that any recent submissions to develop property within the hamlet of Nesconset and the town of Smithtown is the result of a variety of factors, including a strong economy and the work of the new leadership in Town Hall. It is the position of the Nesconset Chamber of Commerce that we do not oppose the development of property and businesses in Nesconset in general, and that each application to develop property within our hamlet be considered by the town on a case-by-case basis and to be determined on the basis of the merits and ultimate impact on Nesconset. With respect to the pending application for the development of the hotel attached to the Wardenville Caterers, the Chamber supports the application. I'd also like to point out that that site is not actually located within the hamlet of Nesconset, but actually within the town of Smithtown. So that's the Chamber of Commerce's position, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Robin Vignoli.
And company.
Do you want me to hold him?
Sorry about this. He's in that phase where he won't really go with anybody else, so I have to kind of bring him along. I have two others.
Oh my God, he's cute.
So, good afternoon. My name is Robin Vignoli. I'm at 44 Dilmont Drive, Smithtown. I currently stay home with my soon-to-be 4-year-old, 8-month-old sons. I also have an older child in Thompson Middle School. She'll be 13. I run a local moms group. It's called Babies and Tots of Smithtown. I had this running for 3 years. I set up weekly meetups, post local activities and events. There are many events that we love and look forward to. Smithtown Day, concert series, parades, St. James Nights, name a few. However, the majority of us feel that there aren't many places locally that we could take our kids during the day. We have 4 library branches, and not one of them has a great children's area. They're all extremely small. Many of us feel the activities and programs offered are very limited compared to the other libraries. For little ones, there's not much variety, and they're also hard to get into unless you're signing up. Morning enrollment opens up the month prior. So right now, many of us travel outside the area. Middle Country Library is a popular spot due to its huge indoor play space and outdoor explorium, equipped with a water table, instruments, gardens, digging areas. So we would love to have something like that here. Some of our parks have been renovated recently. Gibbs Pond, Nesconset Library, a couple. Many of us love to go to those, but now in the summer months, it gets very hot, as with many playgrounds. So an indoor shaded space is much needed. Even in the winter, winters are long, and they're very long if you're home with these guys. Some of the playgrounds needing work: East Hills, Apple Park, Maple Park, Memorial Park, Pine Cone Woods, Landing Avenue Park. All the feedback regarding the same rundown. Old, dire need of uplifts, not much for the kids. So basically having better parks, libraries, children's activities programs not only increase the quality of living, but will increase revenue in our town, it will promote people to visit and encourage our residents to stay in as well. So thank you.
Thank you. I would recommend, thank you for coming in with your company here. On the libraries, we can certainly pass that along. That is a separate taxing entity.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest your organization contact the library director, Mr. Lusak, and make sure that he's given that information on what your requests are there. all right? Because we don't control the libraries any longer. They're a separate tax entity, they're their own government,
Okay.
okay? And I'm sure he'll be receptive, he's a good man. And also, as you know, excuse me, this is a new administration. We are systematically working through capital budgets to improve all of our parks and rec facilities. You know, some of them haven't been done, and we'll continue that as we go forward into the years.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There are no more speakers.
That's it? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I move to close the meeting.
Second?
Supervisor Warehan,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella,
Yes.
Councilman Lawman.
Yes.